The University Library of Leuven is a splendid landmark on one of the central squares in town. It houses more than 1 million books and a collection of more than 40,000 old prints, 1,000 manuscripts, and 150 ancient handwritten lecture notes. The building hosts important heritage institutions and the university archives, which exist since 1425 and have recently been incorporated into UNESCO's Memory of the World Register. The Grand Reading Room, which was modeled on that of the New York Public Library, forms the heart of the building and is a vibrant place of study. All this is the result of a long and moving history. In 1636, KU Leuven installed its first central library, and in the following centuries, its collection evolved into one of the most important in the Low Countries. Regrettably, the library's blossoming was abruptly halted in 1914. On the night of August 25th, German soldiers set fire to the 14th century University Hall, which housed the library, and that way destroyed more than 300,000 books, 1,000 manuscripts, and 800 incunabula. The occupying troops considered this a reprisal for what they believed to have been a Belgian sniper's attack. But historians have come to agree that the arson and the simultaneous killing of almost 250 inhabitants of Leuven were in fact an act of terror. The day after, the New York Tribune made it front-page news. The rest of the neutral and Allied world was equally shocked and indignant. A historic university town, a center of knowledge and culture, had been violated. The destruction of the university library especially exemplified the brutal threat on Western civilization. The American president, Thomas Woodrow Wilson, visited Leuven in June of 1919. He later recalled that one of the most poignant memories of his whole trip to Europe was standing amongst the ruins of the university library. In a surge of worldwide solidarity and generosity, funds were raised and books collected to restock and restore this cultural institution, giving Leuven's university library one of the richest collections in the interwar period. Of all the supporting committees, the National Committee of the United States for the Restoration of the University of Leuven was one of the most prominent. It was chaired by Dr. Nicholas Murray Butler, the then president of Columbia University. His was only one of the hundreds of American educational institutions that contributed financially to the reconstruction of Leuven's library. Thanks to them, and especially to the relentless efforts of Herbert Hoover, the principal benefactor in the project, the new library could open its doors on the 4th of July, 1928. Its architect was the New York-born Whitney Warren, who'd made his name with Grand Central Station. The impressive building includes an 80-meter-high tower, which houses a carillon offered by American engineers as a memorial to their colleagues fallen on the European battlefield. In its original form, it had 48 bells, and there were 48 gilded stars on the 4 dials, representing the number of states in the U.S. at the time. On the stepped gables, an American eagle takes its place. Every year on Independence Day, the Stars and Stripes fly from the tower. The American generosity is also made evident in commemorative stones in the walls and pillars on the library's ground floor, which bear the names of the more than 300 donors, primarily U.S. educational institutions, but also the Police Department of New York. Unfortunately, the library was deeply scarred a second time. In May 1940, when the German Wehrmacht overran Leuven, it was set on fire again, and nearly 1 million books went up in flames. Afterwards, the library was once again restored according to Warren's original plans. Since 1987, it has been officially protected as a national monument. Decades earlier, Dr. Butler had expressed the hope that this building would bear witness to the bonds uniting our nation to Belgium and to our allies. It is indeed a palpable reminder of the ties between the United States and Belgium, who've written a powerful story together. It's a story that KU Leuven hopes to continue in the future. The support of American benefactors would enable the university library to keep preserving and nurturing its precious collection, and welcoming its scholarly audience. The desire to learn is universal, and libraries, as symbols of culture, can unite people beyond nationality, race, and creed. They should, more than ever, be cherished and protected.